Hi guys! Happy Thursday, almost end of the week. Sorry, I've been dealing with a cold lately. So I'm gonna see how long we last tonight before I have to blow my nose excessively or can't stop coughing. Whichever one comes first. um, but I'm back. I also, in my downtime, my recovery time from being gross with a cold. I went through a bunch of my buttons. So in my pinks, I had these bottom two are kind of more like a ballet kind of pink. They're a little bit more washed out. And then these ones are just a tad bit smaller, and I think the pink shade in them will work better with this. So I pulled them both out just in case, or well, four of them, two different types. But I thought they're really three-dimensional, like the button itself is pretty three-dimensional, so um, we'll see. But super fun, super cute, kind of excited for that. And then I also pulled out just some clear like beads, um, kind of add a little bit of sparkle. They, like I said, they are clear, so they won't add any color, but they'll add kind of more of a texture to it. So like this one's super simple. It was the first one we did. This one got excessively more elaborate. We used a really fun thread. I don't know if you can classify it as a thread, but that's what I'm going with. It's a Crystal Rays by Rainbow Gallery. It has that tube with the thread. I kept all the extra thread up here inside the metallic, and that's what you use to couch it into place. And then we did some buttons and a back stitch. So on this one, I haven't quite solidified in my brain how to kind of like connect the line. The idea of this couched crystal rays, if you will, is that it was a running stitch around it, similar to the stitch around this small center heart here. But it's so, I think, oversized that you lose the fact that it looks kind of like a running stitch. I think if it was on a bigger project, you would have totally seen it. But on something this small, I think I need to connect it to kind of fill in that outline, if you will. So complete the line to make it look like an outline. So I'd like to kind of go back to something a little bit more basic than this, but oh, I also got my ivory habanero pepper jelly. Um, I just picked out a handful of different like ivory buttons. I had a couple that were gold, so I thought, oh, those could be kind of fun. So this one was kind of cool. It's a bigger one. I was trying to find like a single big one instead of a bunch of small ones, but what I really wanted to find was one kind of this size that has the four holes in it. So I might use these because I think that's as big as I was able to really find. But you can do like different designs in the stitching of the holes instead of just doing like a cross or like an equal sign. I should just pull these out. So some of them are definitely smaller. This one I thought was kind of fun, but it's really little. It's kind of got a gold hint to it. So if we did use some of this leftover thread and we kind of tied in gold as an accent, that one could be really fun. I really liked the texture of that gold one. And then just, I don't know, I think this flower, I thought it was really sweet, but it might be too crispy, clean white. That was my biggest issue with a lot of the buttons, was finding something that wasn't a bright white. It might not be bad. I think it could work against like the pink, the background of the pink instead of up against the white, perhaps. Has potential. These ones are kind of ivory-ish, but I don't know. I didn't compare and contrast all of them against the wool, but you know, button options. I didn't quite find what I was looking for, so I then went down the rabbit hole with, everything else. um, so I don't know if I'll use any buttons tonight. Well, like I said, we'll see how how the night goes. I'm going for something kind of more simple, more basic. I also found this ivory ribbon that I have. Um, it's got a wire on either side of it so I can shape it if I need to, but I really liked it because it had the border. So the satin border, and then it's sheer down the middle so you can kind of see through it, or we can work with it and add stitches to it to kind of give it some extra fun dimension. So I kind of pulled that one because I thought that could be fun on one of them in lieu of just this sparkly tool. But the sparkly tool I could cut down to the shape of the heart, and then it could just kind of be like overlaid on like an ivory as something super subtle, I guess. So that's kind of my thought process for the first one tonight, is kind of trace, I think. I don't want to get rid of that. Trace around a heart. Oh, there's a crease. And kind of treat it as an overlay. I might actually see if I can't cut it into, or cut two out of it, because I think it could be fun if I cut one this size and put it on here. And I don't do any other wool on it. It's just this sparkle. I think that could be kind of fun with some simple stitch embellishments, and that would go relatively quickly. Let's get that off to the side. We'll move these hearts out of the way. The downside is going to be that fold. I don't really want to have to fight that. So we'll go like that. We'll get a like a sharp fabric-y pair of scissors out. I'm not gonna really fussy cut around it. Let me get out a chunk around it, and then we can get a better idea of the shape. And then I'm gonna do, I said 2, so we'll see if I can get, cool, a second one out of it. Oh gosh. So it sticks really well. Let's put that over off to the side. Okay. So heart number 1. Let's get it just cut out, and then we'll put this ivory wool back, and the tool or mesh or whatever you want to call it with the sparkles in it will just be, I'll have to pin it down, and we'll have to do some sort of a decorative stitch to tack it in place, but I think gonna have some sparkles. I think that'll be good. I think that will be super fun. Like I said, super simple. I think just to tack it down, we can do like a back stitch similar to what we did here on this ivory one. We just did a back stitch all the way around to kind of give it an outline. So I think we'll do that with this one. I might do it in a pink or an ivory, just to give it a little bit of a contrast, and then see where that lands us and see if we want to do some buttons, some beads. Doesn't do it for me. We'll go from there. So that one, let's get some pins in. Just going to use my pins for wool applique. They're handy, they're little, they work really well for smaller projects such as this heart. And one more. Okay. Let's cut out this guy with our scissors that we have out. And this one I think will stay on the white or the ivory wool. I think that'll be just kind of a fun, subtle accent as well, but maybe a little bit more subtle since it's ivory on ivory, whereas the first one we did was the ivory tulle on the pink background. Okay. I don't know if it would work or not. I might actually have to trim it down a little bit. Also, I have a very restless puppy, so give me 2 seconds. I need to let him out. Okay, so sorry. I was saying I think I might need to trim down this on this one and make it just marginally smaller. Thunderpup 789, very festive. Happy February. I am. I think if I trim it down the heart, you won't notice if it overlaps as much, and you won't notice that it's ever so slightly smaller than the heart, I think. And I'm like, I can kind of see the mesh on the pink, and I don't want that. So we'll just give it a little trim. Try and clear off my scraps. Unsuccessfully. Thunderpup, welcome. Hope you're having a lovely, depending on your location, Thursday or Friday. Okay. Oh goodness, I'll just shake it. Here we go. I think I'm gonna be taking tulle off of wool for a while. Okay. I think that'll be fun. It's hard to see on camera, but it offers. Let me see if I can't dim one of these lights. Maybe. Okay. Here you go. You can kind of see a little bit of the texture. It's got a little bit of sparkle. Um, Still really hard to see. Sorry, guys. My lights are too bright. It has a lot of sparkle to it. So the texture that you kind of see on this pink one is the same texture, obviously, that's on the white, but the sparkle is also there. So it's just a lot more subtle on the white because it's the same. It's the same. The background is the same. Let me turn this guy back on so I can kind of see. Cool. So again, I think I'm gonna pin. I might have to. Let's do a whip stitch on this one like we normally would with our wool applique to get the white down. I don't think that's going to fully secure the tulle. But it'll maybe kind of sort of in places enough to then do some embellishments. I don't think it's going to fully tack it down because I did trim it in some places so that it doesn't really overlap onto the pink. Just gonna do one, I think, here at the bottom. No, I'm a liar. Well, I can do one, but I need to move it because the mesh moved. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to start with this one because I know I want to attach the ivory wool to the pink wool. And we've got, oh, and I can put that away. And we've got our wool thread left over from last time we worked on this project. Just using chenille needle. Has a little bit bigger of an eye and a sharp point, which we like with wool. The other thing I like with the wool, it is a little bit more expensive. We kind of did a compare and contrast with our ornaments this winter. Felt is an alternative that you can use. It doesn't necessarily offer the same variety and it's usually a little bit stiffer, but it does give you that thickness. So super cost effective way to kind of get a similar result. I just really like I really like working with wool. I think it's just really fun. There's a lot of varieties out there. I recently worked on a project that was felted wool instead of a woven wool, and that was awesome. It was bright orange, but it was really pretty. It was a really pretty orange, very rich pumpkin kind of color, and um, really lovely to work with. Most of the wools that I work with are woven. Both of these are woven. Um, and depending on the tightness of the weave, uh, depends on the like how stable some of your stitches might be, how tightly you can pull them. One of the things I love about wool appliques is that you don't have to use a hoop because it is a little bit stiffer. I can definitely feel that I'm pulling in the mesh, the tulle, sorry, because it's catching on the thread. Kind of a interesting sensation. I'm not used to the tension, I guess, on my thread. Okay. Okay. All right. So I started at kind of an off point. I didn't want to start in the center point of the heart. I don't want to call attention to that. For whatever reason, I like to start kind of off to the side. And as I kind of come to this curve, I'm noticing that the tool has a little bit of a pucker. I'm wondering if it's because of how I pinned it. So I'm thinking I'm going to just pinch it while I work on it. I, I think that'll be, um, my brain says that that'll be a better solution for me than thinking, oh no, I'm puckering it, I need to fix it while it's pinned. If I just kind of pinch it while I'm working on it, I think I will resolve the issue. I might have missed it. Are you going to put the hearts on something? The goal is to string them onto a garland. So I don't know what they are going to get strung onto just yet. But the idea is that they'll turn into a garland. I do have enough of the pink backgrounds, these guys, to make 7 with backs to hide all of the knots because on like this lovely guy, not quite done with it, but the back of it is full of knots and chaos. So to hide that, we will, once they're all done, I'll put backs on all of them, but I think that they will just get attached here instead of having a whole string run through it. I think that that'll be a little bit easier, but we'll see. Undetermined at this time on the final assembly, I guess, but the idea is a garland. And I might get to 5 hearts and be like, nope, I'm done. I'm not doing 7. We'll see. The first one I did was pretty simple, I think pretty straightforward. And then the second one, like I showed you here. So the first one, pretty simple, straightforward. I had a bunch of these little heart buttons. So I just went with that. And then the second one, I really wanted to try my Rainbow Gallery, the Crystal Rays thread. I have it in a few different colorways, and it kind of mentally kicked my rear end. I had never worked with it before. It is designed for needlepoint, so a little bit different purpose. But I have picked up and been gifted a few different types and different colors, and I've wanted to play around with it for a while, so I thought this was a perfect project. And I have another one in this kind of red color. It's the same one, just a different colorway. So we might, if I'm feeling super energetic towards it, we might use it again, but it'll probably be on like heart number 7. So kind of going for some more simpler ones tonight. That's the hope, at least. We'll see how much more thread I have. But I'm excited. I think it'll be really cute garland. The idea is that none of them are going to be the same, but the colors, hopefully the pattern, not pattern, just the color combination of the two, kind of this really deep magenta. It reads red, I think, for you guys, but it's a really deep magenta with the ivory, and just kind of keeping with that palette hopefully will not make them look too terribly chaotic, but time will tell. Let's get a couple more stitches in and then we'll tie a knot. I also think I've been able to catch the tulle in most of my whip stitches. I've made them just a little bit bigger than I normally would, but not too terrible. And I think that I've been able to catch the tulle, and so it will stay in place. So let's tie a knot and just get a little bit more thread. And by one, I mean a couple because I'm always paranoid that it'll pop through. Okay. I also pulled some ivory beads. I had a couple different sizes. So I had this one, and then this one is almost matte. They're not, but they just don't have like a high gloss. This one has like a gloss to it, almost like a pearl finish to it, whereas this one's just kind of like, meh, I'm a bead. But they're both ivory instead of white. I don't have very many ivory beads. I have a lot of white beads. Even the pearl beads, I pulled them out and I was like, nope, these are too white. These are very white. So I've been trying to be very mindful with the ivory. I also, oh shoot, I forgot this ribbon. I should figure out how to incorporate that tonight. It's really pretty. It's a lace. I wonder if I can just kind of like do it across one of them. That might be what we do. Let me just cut some off so that I don't forget to use. Whoa! That's one way to go about it. Okay. Let's do that. Where did the pin go? Oh, it didn't make it in the pin cushion. That seems reasonably safe. Those are pretty. Thank you. Okay. Lots of gathering of materials in the correct color has been I think almost a project in itself. Just trying to I'm like, okay, I have little bits and bobs. I heard that term before and I really liked it. I have little bits and bobs. I don't have like old bits and bobs. Um, Someday I think it'd be fun to go and kind of rummage through some antique stores and see if I can't find maybe older things, but I definitely don't need them. I have plenty of my newer bits and bobs, but I think getting some beaded accents would be good. I think the lace is really pretty, would be a really pretty accent as well. Okay, and we did a few buttons. I think I'm gonna take actually a quick water break, try and stay ahead of the cough tonight. The lovely head cold that I've almost over it, but give me 2 seconds. Okay, cool. I'm thinking on this one, I almost want to try not like a blanket stitch, but something that's got a little bit more texture to it inside the heart for a stitch instead of layering like another small heart onto it. I think if I can, maybe I'll get out my little stitch book for some inspiration. Or maybe I'll set this one aside and work on the other mesh one. We'll see. Oh, I could do, I think I did it in my needle book. You have like two, I don't know if I could do it with the curves. I should be able to. You just, it's like two back stitches next to each other, but you have to offset the stitches so that they aren't next to each other. They have to, the stitch itself has to start and stop where this one's in the middle so that you can like weave thread in and out between the two. It's kind of got a cool look. I don't remember what it's called, but I'll have to look it up because I don't remember how to start it. But it's a fun, that could be really fun. Okay, let's put that pin back. Kind of line up our points. We're gonna do each of the sides and then we're gonna come back to the point. For me, this just helps me have a really clean stitch on the point itself and has worked really well for me. So I've stuck with it. So we did our two on either side, come past our point, and then we're going to sew it down. I don't pull it very taut because that will then tend to pucker. Just kind of guide it where we want. This one seems a little crooked, but I think we'll be okay. We'll finagle it. Cool. And then I think we've got one more stitch. We'll do two. I think we can get two in there and I've got enough thread, so I hope. Perfect. Tie a few knots. maybe, if we're lucky. Oh, there we go. Okay. And trim. Cool. Other than my little fold in my wool. This one's pretty cute. I like this one. I also pulled out these giant gold beads, but I don't think I'm going to use them. I think they're just a little flashier than what I'm after on this spread. Like, I think we can get a fun look without having to go with bold golden beads. Oh, and these buttons. I don't know. I think there are a few. Hold on. It's two different packages. I don't think that the red is... It could work. It has potential, but there's some pinks in here. There's a bunch of this baby pink. I don't think the baby pink is speaking to me, but this magenta... Oh no, I was mistaken. Just kidding. My apologies. I'm gonna slide this down so that I can then just maybe... Oh gosh, it's a smaller jar than I was thinking. Well, alright. 5 minutes later. Sorry, guys. I had originally pulled out, there's some purple beads in here that made me think of it, a purple ribbon. I really liked it. It had a little bit of gold edging to it. And I pulled the wire out of the edging and I used my flat iron on the ribbon itself to get all the kinks out. Like, I put in all the effort and then I'm like, I don't think I want to bring in purple to this project. I think I want to really try and keep it to the ivory and the magenta color that we have going on, and then just a little bit of like maybe a subtle pink that just, it's not going to stand out as like a third color. It just kind of blends. Okay, those are a definite no. That's a definite no. Okay. So yeah, purple I shelved. I shelved the purple. That one doesn't really have a huge contrast. That one doesn't really either. I think it's you. I think it's the ivory. I think I'm just gonna do a back stitch. Nothing fancy. Just simple. And I should be able to use the same chenille needle so long as I can thread my pearl cotton through it. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Oh, there we go. Okay. So again, I'm not going to start at a point. These 2 points I'm going to start off to the side, and to kind of give it the illusion of a curve when it's a straight stitch. Essentially the back stitches, individual straight stitches. I'm going to try and make my stitches relatively small. It's not always my strong suit, so you know, bear with me. I'm also not going to do it at the very edge. I'm going to bring it in. Oh, yeah. I was thinking how far in I wanted it, if I want it to come in pretty far, but then this will be catching on anything, so I don't want to bring it in too far. Oh gosh, okay, maybe we'll work this way so that I'm not trying to hold the edge of it while I'm working. gosh, this is gonna be a trip. How my brain is like, how many pieces of mesh in a stitch? Okay. Oh boy. This, I'm already reconsidering my stitch. It's okay. Also, oh no, I know. Well, I don't want it to pucker, and it feels like it's kind of puckering, but we'll see. I'm also wondering if I don't think I can add a piece of wool on top of it if I do the stitch. So I'm gonna have to just do embellishes, which is totally fine. I have plenty that I can embellish with, but I feel like I should pin down this heart and use it as my guide almost for where I'm sewing. Well, no, maybe not. Ugh, what do I know? We'll just keep going. It'll be fine. It's just supposed to be a fun project. You can also take out stitches if you don't like it later. This is very true. Um, I'm a I'm a big fan of if it doesn't feel right, take it out. I don't feel like the corner is lining up correctly, but I guess we'll get there when we get there. I feel like it catches. I can't say I've ever worked with tulle and wool before, let alone sparkled tulle. It's fun. I think it's a really fun texture. You almost don't need the pins to keep it in place. It just kind of attaches itself to the fibers in the wool, which is kind of nice. Also means it kind of attaches itself to your thread, but well, you know, as you do. So see, I don't know if you guys can see it very well, but it kind of lifts up in places, and I'm nervous that it's the stitching that's doing that, but maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just creating a problem where there isn't one. Well, you know. Okay. Hello, Min Min. Loving all the reds. Thank you. Working with a sparkle tool tonight. Rethinking my choices. I think it'll look cute. Just a little less smooth of a material than I'm used to working with. But a fun little garland project, hopefully. Is tulle more fussy to work with? I think it's not even that it's tulle. I think that it's glitter tulle. Like it's got glitter in it, and so it sticks to everything. For starters, which is kind of nice. I don't have to necessarily pin it, but it like pulling the thread through it is kind of funky. Um, I just feels a little bit slower. to work with, but it's not bad. I have some regular tulle that I could test out, but who wants to use regular tulle when you can use glitter tulle? There we go. I'm also like I feel, yeah, there's gonna be a little bit of, it's kind of pillowed. Eh, that's okay. If it's symmetrically pillowed on the other side, cool. If not, also cool. Oh, okay. I might have pulled like too many things to embellish with. Gotta maybe limit myself. Oh, my dry skin keeps catching on the tool. Awesome. Let's. Could never have too many. I know. It's so fun. I had a head cold and I was like, no, I'm not gonna stop to blow my nose every 5 minutes on a live stream. That's not gonna be fun for anybody. So I think I'm mostly past it, but during my downtime on Tuesday, I went through and I was like, okay, I'm still going to use this time to kind of organize and go through buttons and beads and materials in general, and like let's find more fun things. I know I have beads, and oh my gosh, I need like a file. There we go. I have ivory buttons, and I was thinking I had like a bigger one that I could do some fun stitching off of in the center of one of the hearts, but I do not. But I do have other buttons. And I pulled some gold ones out that I think could be fun. I just don't know if I'm really going to incorporate a ton of gold, so I don't know if I'm going to go down the gold button rabbit hole. We'll see. I kind of want to get some of the maybe easier, simpler ones out of the way, and then revisit maybe or add the buttons later and see which buttons I like. Because like the one I'm working on, I think could have one of these guys in it, and that could be kind of super simple, super sweet, right? It has the outline, it has kind of a background, it has the frame of the solid wool. Simple, right? But maybe there's a better button. Granted, so I did these two before I got sick. This one was the first one I did, and I was like, yeah, super simple. I really like it. Cool, let's do this one. And I'm really excited that I used the Rainbow Gallery. It's Crystal Rays. So it's a tube of this mesh, this kind of pink ivory variegated. It's this guy right here. And inside of the tube is this gold metallic thread. And you use that when you ruche it, you use that inner thread to couch the tubing. But you don't see the gold. Like when it's all said and done, you don't see the gold. So it's kind of like, oh, well, I don't know if I'm going to be using gold accents if you don't see the gold in that. But that also means it's the same thread, just a different colorway. The black thread in here, that's metallic, you won't see when I use that for ruching. If I were to use this, you would just see kind of the reds and the burgundies and the pinks of the tubing. So we'll see if I can psych myself up to do that one again. It was a ton of fun. I just think that it's not, I always kind of have an idea of how something's going to turn out in my head, and that's not quite how it turned out. But I'm not taking it out. I'm going to work with it, and I'm going to I think fill in the gaps with like beads or something. Okay, I'm catching on all the things. Anyways, so this one isn't quite done. I think I need to add in between all the ruching to kind of complete that line, the border around it. But I think this one is pretty much done, other than it will have maybe some contrasting stitching in ivory when we sew it together with a whip stitch. I think I'll use ivory on this one, so you'll see the contrast on that one, whereas this one I think I'll use a pearl cotton that blends in with the background because it's got enough going on. So I'm gonna wait until they're all done before I put them all together, I guess, to make sure that I kind of don't have any more things I want to add or take off or replace or whatever. So we'll see. We'll see how complicated or elaborate these hearts turn into be. But they're fun. Fun little garland to hang up anywhere. I think I was previously, when I was working on the two garlands, I have had, I think my entire adult life, I've always had a Valentine garland of some sort. This is the first one I'm making, but I've had, and I always put them, this is not gonna, let's push this back. I always end up putting them above the mirror in my bathroom. I don't know why. I think that's like in my brain, it's a single spot that is a short little garland that I can just kind of drape around it, and it's easy, and then my bathroom is decorated. I don't know if this garland will be the same. I think this one, it's not just like a, I don't know, like a whole strip of solid fun. It's 7 individual hearts, I guess. So we'll see. Maybe we'll figure out, master some picture taking and put it up on the Etsy shop for sale. I just have to figure out a better way to take pictures of the things I've worked on and get that up on the Etsy shop because they're not good. I can do the crafts. I need to master the photography portion, I guess. There's definitely an art to it, that's for sure. Okay. On the bright side, the tool has puckered evenly across at least the top portion of the heart. Maybe could have done smaller stitches, but I think these work okay. I think the curve of the heart is good. It's fine. Okay. I'm going to there we go. Almost there. I'm not 100% certain what I'm putting in the center of either one of these. My brain kind of goes to set them aside and come back to them. I'm gonna start a bunch of hearts and not know how to finish them. It's gonna be great. Oop. Okay. 2 more stitches. do have these ivory roses. I don't know if I want to combine them with these giant pink ones, but I feel like the pink with this lace would be really pretty, but I think the lace is also ivory, similar to the tulle. My nose is getting stuffy, so we'll see how long I last. Okay, let's tie a knot in that. It's cute. It's very simple, kind of sweet. If I have this go across kind of a little bit lower, right, then I could do, let's cut the thread on this one. These little, I like the lace, that's very pretty. Thank you. It's floral ribbon. Back when, you know, people used to go all out for their floral ribbon. I don't know. But I think like just these, I don't know if you guys can see them very well. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see them very well in my hand because there's no contrast, but, oh my gosh. Let's see. Will it, they're little rose, like little flowers almost. The texture's really pretty. And I think it works really well with the lace. Um, I think if I cut this, I'll have to like, I don't know if, oh, I do have ivory. Okay. I can just do like little tacks. I think I'll just tack it down. And then sew the buttons on. And I think that one, I think that'll be really cute, really sweet. Just again, kind of simple. Let's do that. We'll pin it down so I don't lose my mind. Right? That's kind of like straight. Okay. It's almost like a regular lace, but they've added what's that stiffening agent? Oh my gosh, my husband threatens to use it on my iron all the time. It's not going to come to me. It's very stiff, but it's clearly it looks like it's been tatted. Starch, yes, thank you. That normal word that I can't think of. But I can describe. um, I think it's like a tatted lace that's just been starched and they've put it on a spool. But I mean, it's pretty. It's no brand I've ever been familiar with. At one point it was $4 and then it was $4.50. Uh, Eggshell batten. I don't even know how many yards because that didn't quite come across. But it's a Lion product, a Lion ribbon company. But yeah, I've got a lot of it left. I've got a lot of it left. Um, but it's pretty. It's just one of those things that's like, what do you use it for? I don't I don't wrap my flowers in it ever. So, you know. Okay, so my brain almost goes that I should tuck it, but I don't think mm, I don't think I want to tuck it. I'll have a backing. I think I'm just gonna, it's not gonna unravel, right? Like it does not unravel. So I think we're just gonna, I'll cut it a little bit larger and then we can trim it down. Once it's tacked, I think, in place. think that'll be good. Okay, let's get some thread. We'll put it back in its little catcher. I don't know what that's called. I'm sure that has a term. I think I'm gonna double this up. I normally will double up my sewing machine thread. I don't think I'm going to be tacking it down like along the very edge where it's a little bit thinner. And it would be more noticeable if I had a thicker thread there. I think I'm going to try and, I mean, I'll tack it down kind of where I've pinned it, but not at like the very, very edge. So I think it'll be, oh gosh, what just happened? Oh, no. That was very uneven. Let's try that again. Okay. So I don't want to start close to the edge because I don't want the tail from my knot to kind of come out through this side. So let's start in here. Cool. Can't even see it. I'm not going to necessarily try and follow a pattern. I think more or less I'm just going to, yeah, see, I don't even pull that maybe a little tighter and it'll disappear. I'm just going to try and make them at even increments, I think, more or less, so that it's just kind of tacked down evenly, if that makes sense. Okay. What I didn't like about this one is that my stitches were wider than what I was trying to cover. So I'm trying to come up at an angle and then go down so that it's, when it gets pulled tightly, it just blends in, is the goal. Okay. But, right, like I'm not going up along the top edge because it's a little bit thinner up there and I doubled up my thread. So just being really mindful of trying to hide it, I guess. Trying to stay close to the edge. But not go too close. That's a pin. Okay. We'll keep that there for now. Okay, let's see. Sure. I have never gotten into tatting. I'm oof, what a like beautiful, gorgeous skill. think it would be fun to learn, but every time I've like watched tutorials on it, I'm like, oh no, I don't think I have the patience for that. And then people watch what I do and they're like, nah, I think you might. Oh, fiddlesticks. Okay, which one of you is the loose one? It's you. Okay. Take the pin out. I think that'll be a... I mean, it's stiff enough that my needle, I mean, I could definitely push my needle through it, but when my needle comes up to like these thicker parts that are a little bit more solid, they read solid, it gets um, some resistance, so that's good, at least. Okay. Let's do, I think like a couple more out here, and then I'm gonna try and do it as close to the edge as I can so that that part doesn't feel like it's loose. I don't mind if there's a little bit of like, um, I don't know, looseness, or it's not at the edge on the edge of the lace, but I think the edge of the heart I will try and get as close to that border, I guess. I think edge was the right word. Okay. Let's make sure that that's even. I think I'm gonna do another one kind of close to the one I just did. Because I don't really have, I think the next one's kind of far away. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Cool. Making progress. I don't know why my thread is coming through. Like one is puckering and the other is not. Seems kind of weird to me. But what do I know? Okay. So these ones are a little bit closer together. But I'm also pretty happy that you aren't really able to see any of the stitches. The goal now is to make sure that I don't pucker the lace so it just kind of looks like it's laying flat. Maybe. Oh goodness. That one's like way close to the edge. I want to make sure it doesn't fray the wool. Okay, I think we're okay. I feel like this should not take as much concentration as it's taking. Sorry, guys. I am not the conversationalist while tacking down tatting. Okay. I think we're about halfway. Cool. Oop. Okay. Oh, I really like this one. This one's sweet. I'm glad I got the lace out. I would have been bummed if I had forgotten to use these 5 inches. That's a little twisted. Okay. I should find a project that I can use the lace on. What else? It's such a... I got so much of it. I just don't know. Like, this is great. I don't know if it would take a dye or not, but if I did something similar on like Easter eggs in different colors, it could be kind of fun. Nope, not that. Okay. Might have to get more thread. Okay, let's do one more stitch and then I'll cut out more thread because I want to make sure I leave myself plenty of room for tying the knots. I am not always good at that. I don't want to forget and then I'm SOL, so. And I'm close to the edge, which is what I was trying to avoid. Well, here we are. Oh. I'm gonna just try and, when I do hand embroidery, you don't tie knots, you weave it in. So I'm just gonna weave it back towards the center a little bit and get more thread. But I mean, we made pretty good progress with that one piece. I kind of thought I cut enough for everything I needed, but that's okay. It's not like I'm running out of thread anytime soon. I actually think this is the closest I've ever come to running out of thread. Ever. I guess on a sewing machine I've run out of thread and I had to go back and buy more, but that's different. I don't think that counts. Okay. wonder if I did another one of these. Nope, I don't like that as much. I don't think I like that either. I like it better, but it's still not right. Okay. So we are working our way up the side. I'm going to do something over here. So again, not close to the edge. I'll work my way over. Okay. And now we're along the edge. Oh gosh. Okay. There isn't hardly a whole lot to attach. It's either really big pieces or like a single thread. Maybe let's go here. Okay. I love how it's laying flat and not puckering. Like the tool had a, well, the one on the ivory, I think because I made it just a little bit smaller and I did the whip stitch, it's not puckering. But the one that's on the pink, it has a little bit of a pucker to it, which I'm okay with. I'm not upset at that at all. Okay. Let's try this one up here. Okay. Oh, I was gonna say we're getting in a routine, but then I knotted my thread. Just kidding. Okay. Let's try this guy. I don't really have a good rhyme or reason. Just trying to make sure that it's well secured along the edge. And I don't have a good, like, straight-ish line that I can follow. So it's a little tricky. I think we're doing pretty good. I think what I'm noticing is that my thread is pulling some of the like fuzz of the wool up, and that's how I'm able to see where my stitches are. Some of them, not most of them, but some. So I'll have to kind of go back and defuzz some of the stitches, but other than that, I think it's perfect. I can't really tell at all. Okay. I think I can take that guy out. I don't know if it's actually, I think it's at a subtle angle. I think it's this side's just a little bit higher and this is a little bit lower, but it's okay. Such is life with handmade gifts or handmade projects in general. I'm not going to take it out and do it again. Okay. I think we just need, I started like right around here. So I think if we can get like 2 more in, I'd be happy. And then we can kind of lay out the buttons and go from there. I think one in here somewhere. Cool. Not cool. That was less than cool. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think let's get the. Oh, I don't have to cut it. I think I can. If I do the 4 across, I think that I can come up to this one. Okay, let's see how we do. Nope, wrong way. Not what this button was intended for, I am well aware. But what it's getting used for, all the same. Okay, one more over on this side. So I'm kind of spacing my stitches out to kind of, if it's gonna rotate, like it kind of rotates like as the whole fabric instead of it rotating on its own. It's kind of my goal. We'll see. I might have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, but just kind of spacing the stitches out has seemed to help in the past get them to lay flat like that. So it doesn't, like it can still rotate, right? Because this one doesn't, this one's pretty, it's a pretty deep little button, but I think all things considered, that's pretty good. I'll take it. I might knot that actually, because I think that'll help keep it from continuing to rotate, I guess, or to get loose with the other ones maybe. I think I should actually not all of them. That's a little bit more work for me, but that's okay. 3. I'll have to get more thread anyway, so let's do. I don't think I can justify that. I think that would look kind of funky. Just throwing out ideas. Okay. Okay. Twist it all? No. Okay, cool. Okay. And 2 more. Okay. And last one. Okay. Two more just to make sure it's secure. And then I think my nose is struggling. So let's do our 2 more little ivory roses on here. So sorry, didn't want to cough in your ear. Okay. Get some ivory thread. Scissors. What am I doing? Cool. I don't even know if I would call this one complete with the 2 or with all 4 buttons on, because my brain is still thinking like something to tie in. We already used these ones, so maybe these ones. I don't think that color is quite right, but I don't know. Something. I don't want to do like French knots, right? Because you're not going to necessarily see it. It has to be a little bit bigger than that, but 3. We'll see. Maybe I don't need it. Maybe I just overcomplicating it. Oh, haha, gotcha. Okay. Let's pull that tight again. There's glitter on this one from the tool. Not not quite the heart I was going for glitter, but okay. Why is it doing that? So bizarre. Okay. Let me tighten both of them. Okay, I want to make sure these are evenly spaced. Okay. Oh. Last one. We'll do a knot on the back of this one as well, just to kind of keep it tight and secure. Cool. Got our stitches done. Oh, maybe 2 and 3. I'll have to go on a hunt now for some, I don't know, bigger. The red buttons are hard because this wool is not actually red. It's a deep magenta. That's why all of these are like shades of pink, because the red, a lot of the reds that I pulled originally just, they were bad. They were really bad. So, red buttons, also terrible. So we'll bring you up here. I thought about getting out I have a purple or blue. One of them's water soluble, one of them's air soluble, but getting out a pen to like mark where I wanted the 4 buttons to be, but I went with eyeballing it because I kind of just want to I want to be, I think, done with this guy, at least this portion, so that I can wrap up the live stream with you guys and blow my nose, grab some water, crawl into bed. Okay. Oh dear, what happened? That's a no. Okay. Alright. There are our 4 little roses. I don't know if they're actually roses, but flowers. Ivory little flowers. Oh, hard to tie a knot on the back of them. That one wasn't good. Not even close. Come on. Okay. One last one. There we go. Okay. Our progress was actually pretty good tonight. I am wary to say that this one is also complete. It totally could be. It is very sweet just how it is. I really like the lace. We just tacked it around the border. And then these 4 little ivory flower buttons. And then these ones both have the tulle. So this tulle was added to the wool, the ivory wool. So it's kind of hard to see with my spectacularly bright lights. But this one you can see at least the a little bit of the texture, the sparkle in there. I really like it, but I think they both need a little bit more. I don't think I want to add wool to this one. I don't know if I would add it to this one either. I think maybe some fun embellishing stitches on both of them. This one, I'll show you in my needle book. One of the stitches that I was thinking, let's see, this guy on the stem right here. You do back stitches on either side, but they can't line up. They have to be opposite each other. So like where one stitch ends is in the middle of the other stitch. And then you weave a thread, it loops back and forth. I think that could be a really fun stitch on this one. I think that would be really cute, to just kind of do an outline all the way around. I think that could be fun if I can make it work. um, we'll see. This one, I'm not sure yet. I think it could be kind of fun just on its own, but the rest of them are fairly embellished, so this one's going to look really plain. So I think I need to find something to put in the middle. I don't really want to use another one of these hearts because I used one on a different one already, but that is an option. I also have tons of beads. So these ones are a more brighter white that I could in theory use with this one. They're not clean white, so nothing on here is like a crisp clean white. I can put this away. I don't really have a good red bead or like a pink bead. I pulled out this little Christmas bundle that I have because it had some golds and some reds in there, but it's a mixed bag. And I think like trying to hunt and peck for something that would work is just gonna drive me nuts. So um I don't know. We'll have to stew on that one a little bit. They have potential for, well, like all of them have potential. And then I also have these guys. I don't really have any gold yet that you can see on this project. However, where's that one? Gold one that's got that fun texture. Oh, I don't know if that fun texture is the right fit for that. And I think that's too big. So I don't think gold's my answer. I don't know if a button's my answer. Oh, those are all attached to each other. I was looking for like a smaller one that's not attached to a group. I don't think a button's my answer, at least on that one. Just gonna keep on trying. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, I might leave that one out. I think that one's too textured, yeah, with the lace. We'll see. I'll leave the gold for next time. I'm not 100% sold, but I like that idea. And I definitely don't have a red that's that color, so, well, you know. Or pink or burgundy, or the only pinks that I really had that I think that's just going to be washed out against the lace way too much. So, okay. I think I'm going to say adieu to you all. Thank you so much for joining me. I just need to go clear out my nasal passages from this lovely cold. But thank you for keeping me company. Thunder Puppet was so great to have you. Min Min, always great to have you as well. Thank you guys for stopping by and keeping me company and just, sharing words of wisdom. It's always fun. But this is our progress for tonight. We did good. We will be back. We will make more progress. I think we got like 2 weeks, right? So yeah, I got some work ahead of me, but always fun with you guys. Look forward to, hopefully you guys have a good weekend. We have a birthday party in our household on Saturday, so that's going to be the focus for a little bit, and then I will reconvene with you guys and relax with some hand sewing on Sunday. I think that'll be fun, just to kind of decompress, but it'll be good. It'll be a good party. Yeah, so hopefully you guys have a good Friday and then on to the weekend. But thank you so much for joining. It was lovely as always.